Hi everyone, good afternoon. So I'm just waiting for a few more and then start at around 1:10. Okay? Thank you so much. Okay? It's already 1:10. Start na po tayo. All right. So first of all, I would like to thank you all for attending our NEBOSH orientation. Alam ko po, kayo po ay very busy or first it's a weekend po ano. So kayo ay may mga kanya-kanya mga gawain today. But thank you so much for giving us your time. And hopefully, maaga-aga din po tayo matatapos. Okay? So again, welcome po sa ating NEBOSH orientation. Together with us is one of our instructor for NEBOSH, of course, Miss Alice. For some of you, you know her already. So, just quick overview lang po. I'd like to introduce Trainovate sa mga hindi pa po nakakaalam. So, of course, Trainovate is a safety training provide organization, but we don't offer safety officer courses only. So, we have professional development skills, soft skills, and such. But of course, we will focus on the safety officer side. Okay. So, I'm very happy that Miss Alice is with us. She's one of our best instructors po and ang NEBOSH instructor po natin siya. Okay? So, I hope Miss Alice, are you ready? Hi, Ma'am Alice.
Hi, Anna. Hi,
Hi,
everyone. How's
ma'am.
my audio?
Yes po, it's all good, ma'am. But I have here a poll question po for all the attendees. So, kung pwede po natin siyang sagutan. It's just very quick question lang po para at least alam ng ating instructor kung sino po yung mga participants natin for today. Okay? Let me just launch it.
Hmm, there are
Ayan.
some
Miss Alice.
comments related to the audio.
Yes, ma'am.
Mahina po audio.
Okay.
Is it for everyone? All good on my side?
Mm-hmm. Ayan. You can give me a thumbs up po kung okay naman yung audio ko. Mukhang medyo mahina po yata yung audio ko kay Miss Alice. Ayan. You can message po if my audio is fine while the poll question is posted po. Ayan. So, pakisagutan na lang po. Ayan. So, may mga sumasagot na. There are only 4 questions. Ayan. 5 minutes siguro po. Ayan. Yung sa number 4 question po natin, naka-indicate po is, number 3, are you a NEBOSH student at the moment? So kung halimbawa ay tapos na po kayo mag-NEBOSH, you can answer no or you can just put I'm done already or done with the NEBOSH. Okay, thank you.
Some of our participants are not able to see the poll questions.
Ma'am, wala po yung poll question.
Ayan, sa mga hindi po makita ang poll question, meron po kayo makita na bilog and then more. Kindly click it, sir, and then makita niyo yung poll. Then click that po para mag-appear yung poll question natin. Ayan, thank you so much po. I think everyone's already done. Okay, Miss Alice, I think we can proceed na po.
May I see the result?
Oh, and quick, the result. There you go. Can you see it, ma'am?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this orientation. I see a lot of familiar names. Welcome back to Trainovate. If you have completed your NEBOSH certificate already. If not, if you are new, we also welcome you. Welcome to the Trainovate family. If you're new, I'm Alice, by the way, and I will be discussing about the NEBOSH diploma today. So hopefully I will be able to inspire you or convince you to join. And for those of you who are already enrolled, I hope that this orientation will give you additional information on what you're going to face. Okay, so what I'm going to discuss is the content, but if you have any questions as to fees, etc., our sales team will be more than happy to help you. Okay, so if you have any questions, by the way, just type your questions in the chat box, or you can just unmute anytime and then share your question. So let's get started. Oh, Hannah, I'm unable to share my screen.
All right, ma'am. Give me 1 second po. All good, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so NEBOSH IDIP Orientation, IDIP International Diploma. So we know that NEBOSH has different level of courses or training. There's the award level, then you have the NEBOSH certificates, and next level is diploma. They also have masters. You can find all those information from the NEBOSH website. So today we're going to discuss the NEBOSH diploma. Okay, the full name is NEBOSH Level 6 International Diploma for Occupational Health and Safety Management Professional. That's quite long, so we just call it NEBOSH ID. IGC is level 3, and this one is level 6. Okay, so there's NEBOSH National Diploma, just like in the certificate, we have NGC, National General Certificate, for the people who are in the UK or who will be working in the UK. Same thing for the diploma, there's National Diploma for those in the UK, and for the rest of the world, that's International Diploma. Right, so today we will be discussing the benefits. Why having a NEBOSH diploma is helpful. Sorry. And then I will take you through the different units and the syllabus or the topic discussed for each unit. And then, of course, I will give you some information related to the assessment or the exam. Okay, there's a question na NEBOSH IDC and 2 po ba yung orito na din po in level 3 up to level 6? I'm not sure if I understand the question. Kapag po level 3 na NEBOSH IGC and 2 ba yun? Yes, when we say level, NEBOSH IGC has 2 units, IGC 1 and IGC 2, and that's level 3. When it comes to the rank, if I may say so, so NEBOSH IGC is level 3 and NEBOSH Diploma is level 6. Okay. Walang Tagalog si ma'am. Yes, by the way, if you're new, I'm from Madagascar. I've been here for 12 years. So, yeah, sometimes I do use Tagalog. But for today, let's use English. I don't know if you have any non-Tagalog speaking participant today, but anyway, we can mix it up, right? So, NEBOSH diploma is level 6. Okay, so this is our outline, the benefits, what are different units. We will try also to compare it to IGC along the way. Some of you are already familiar with NEBOSH IGC, so let's try to compare what's the difference between the certificate and the diploma. Okay, so sabi nila, they say that having NEBOSH diploma is a game changer for your career. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, agree. Of course, we agree. Okay, why is that? Well, one of the reason is there are so many people who are NEBOSH certified, right? So in order for you to have an edge, it's better to step up and go to the next level. That would be one of the difference. But there are so many benefits of having NEBOSH diploma. I've just select few. The first one is the content itself. It's very, very long, very, very complete, comprehensive. NEBOSH diploma covers a lot of information that you will need if you want to work in the health and safety field. So that's one very big difference. So you'll be forced to discuss or to study several topics, and for sure it will enhance your knowledge when it comes to health and safety. That's a very big advantage. Okay, so if we go through the topic, I wish I took the diploma like, I don't know, 20 years ago. Sorry. I took the diploma before I started my career in health and safety. Because I remember when I joined the health and safety department, we didn't have any training back then. So it was very difficult because we didn't really know what to do. We didn't know what is health and safety management system. But had I attended some sort of diploma like this one, I think it would have made my job easier back then. So this is very good. Lots of topics that are not just in theory. These are things that we really apply in the workplace, things that we will be facing in the workplace. So this is why having a NEBOSH diploma really helps when it comes to working as health and safety. Okay, industry relevance. So the diploma covers a lot of industries. You have the international diploma, but it will help you if you're working in construction, if you're working in oil and gas, if you work in manufacturing, mining, applicable to different industries. Because information provided or the topic in the syllabus covers different industries, so it's helpful whether you are working in, like I said, construction, mining, or anywhere. So it's relevant. Another reason is the professional development. I think some of us have got the NEBOSH IGC for quite some time, and sometimes we tend to be, complacent, or not really complacent. We tend to think, now I already know so much about safety. I know what I need to know when it comes to health and safety. But then you'll be surprised when you join the NEBOSH diploma. You'll be learning new things, and it's very, very quite interesting actually. So it's also for your own personal development. The world is evolving. There are always new information when it comes to health and safety, and professional development. We need to always to stay updated. We need to learn. There are so many things in health and safety that are updated. The syllabus is also updated from time to time. So we need to grow. Let's just not stay stagnant when it comes to our knowledge in terms of health and safety. We need to grow, and joining this program is one of the way for you to improve your knowledge when it comes to health and safety. And finally, of course, we know when it comes to career opportunity, a higher salary, if they have the chance to choose between someone who has NEBOSH IGC and NEBOSH diploma, for sure they will have more trust on the person who's got diploma. So the confidence, because knowing that you have the diploma, it means that you went through the process, the study, the assessment, etc., etc. So for sure you will have more knowledge. compared to someone who only has the NEBOSH certificate. So these are just some of the benefits. There are more, but even the simple benefit that it opens door to higher position, higher salary, I think that's a very big reason why we should join the program, the NEBOSH Diploma. Okay, so next, if you're going to work in the UK, so you will be taking the National Diploma because it will be focused on the health and safety laws in the UK. All right. One of the advantage is you can actually put a title IDIP NEBOSH after your name if you join this program and then pass the assessment. We don't really have this for NEBOSH IGC, but for diploma, you can do the same. For example, I can say Edison Ladlad IDIP NEBOSH. So you can do that if
Yep.
you are
Post nominal.
Yes?
Like post nominal, ma'am.
Yes, correct. Okay, NEBOSH diploma has got equivalence. So this is, you can take the NVQ, yes. Topics are usually the same. The form of assessment is different. But NEBOSH diploma has got equivalent, like I said, but it all depends on what is your objective. Where do you want to work? And also, some of these qualifications are more known compared to others. So I think if we compare NEBOSH diploma and its equivalent, NEBOSH diploma is still one of the known qualifications. Could be also because of marketing strategy from NEBOSH, I don't know. But again, it's not the only qualification, the level 6 qualification. There are others, but this is one of the most known. Okay, so next, what else? It can also allow you to join membership body. If you have the NEBOSH diploma, you can apply as a graduate member of IOSH. By the way, it's not called graduate member anymore. They changed the title to certified member, Cert IOSH. If you have the NEBOSH diploma, then you can apply with IOSH for membership and your level will be graduate or certified member. In IOSH, they have different level of membership. You can be a technical member. That is if you have NEBOSH IGC or equivalent. So that's Tech IOSH. If you have the NEBOSH diploma or equivalent, you can be a grad IOSH, now called Cert IOSH, certified member. And then the next level will be chartered member of IOSH, CM IOSH, and then chartered fellow. That's the highest membership in IOSH. IOSH is not the only membership body. There are others that you can join. If you also have the diploma, since those membership body from the UK, BCSP, Board of Certified Safety Professionals is in the US, but they have agreement. So if you have the diploma, you can bypass some of the process in order to get this CSP, Certified Safety Professional. You don't have to go through what we call the ASP. That's another exam. We can go straight to the CSP. So those are some of the advantages that you can have if you have the NEBOSH diploma. Joining membership body. Not only these ones, there are many around the world. Okay. Right, so let's talk about the units. The NEBOSH diploma, IDIP, has 3 units. So I call it DI1, DI2, DI3. DI1 is about health and safety principle. If you recall, in NEBOSH IGC, we only have 2 units. The health and safety management system, managing health and safety, and then the risk assessment. So what's the difference? In the diploma, the hazard and control part is divided into 2. So we have health issues and safety issues. Okay, so this is why we have 3 units. So the unit 1 is like the IGC one. It's about principle, management of health and safety. The unit 2 and 3 are the hazard and control, but we divide this into health issues and safety issues. Okay, so the health issues, occupational health is not, it's sometimes overlooked. But in this diploma, they have dedicated a specific unit only dealing with health and safety issues. And actually, if we look at the syllabus, the unit DI2 is longer than the DI3. There are more health and safety issues discussed compared to the safety issues. Okay, so next. So the DI1, it's about the know, the theory. The DI2 and 3, it's more about the practice. So if we compare IGC and NEBOSH Diploma, when it comes to the length, how many hours of study, how many days of study? So taught hours, these are the hours that the instructor should spend in the teaching. So as you can see, 65 hours for IGC and 185 for diploma. The self-study also 40 hours for IGC. These are recommended hours, by the way. And we take this from the guidance issued by NEBOSH. So recommended hours for self-study is 40 hours for IGC and 144 for NEBOSH Diploma. Assessment hours, the exam, 7 hours for IGC. The 7 hours is for the open book exam. We are given 24 hours to complete the open book exam, but according to NEBOSH assessment, we can actually complete it in 4 hours, but they are giving us more than enough, 24 hours. And then for the risk assessment, they said you can actually complete it in 3 hours. So they need to assess how much time is the assessment, because the total hours will be needed if you want to check how many credit points can I get from the certificate for those who will include this in their CPD. So the CPD points is actually depending on how many hours is the total course, taking into account the self-study, the taught hours, and the assessment. So this is why they put this 7. I'm not saying again, for those of you who are taking IGC, that you only have 4 hours for the OBE. That's 24 hours. And for the risk assessment, it's not only 3 hours. You have a lot of time as long as you submit it before the deadline. Okay, so total of 112. So if you have to do a face-to-face, without any e-learning, just face-to-face, this will take around 9.5 days for IGC. For the diploma, 30 days in total, if it's only face-to-face. So even for the IGC in Trainovate, we have hybrid teaching, we have e-learning, we have face-to-face. So it's not only 9.5 days. You can do it 100% e-learning, or you can do the e-learning plus face-to-face. It's totally up to you. But considering if you have a face-to-face session, no e-learning, the diploma will take you 30 days. So probably around 10 days per unit. Okay. So now you can see the difference when it comes to the hours. When it comes to duration, you can see that there's a very big difference because there's so much more information in the diploma. So next, when it comes to the exam, sorry. Okay, when it comes to the exam, in IGC, you are taking the exam as a package. Unit 1, IGC 1, IGC 2 together. So you register for the exam together. You can take it per unit, but most of us will take it as a package. So IGC 1 and IGC 2. In the diploma, you cannot do that. You cannot take DI1, DI2, DI3 all together. That will not be realistic, given the fact that there's so much information and even the assessment is quite long. So what they do is they will allocate dedicated exam only for DI1, then another set of exam only for DI2, and then DI3. Also, in IGC, you can take, or they schedule exam monthly. So every month, you can decide if you're going to take the IGC exam on December, January, February, April, every month. But for the diploma, it's not the case. For the DI1, you can only take the exam either March or September. So they only schedule the diploma for each unit twice a year. For DI1, March or September, and September. DI2, you can only take it on May and November. DF3, January and July. So if you're going to study, like say you join the diploma today or this month, then you need to decide, okay, the next exam, DF3 is January. So can I join that or not? So you need to decide. If it's not January, your next chance will be July. DI1, the yearly earliest will be March or September. You can also decide, by the way, which one are you going to start first. Maybe if you are new in health and safety, good idea would be to start with the principal, DI1. And then DI2 or 3, it's totally up to you. Are you going to start with the health issues or the safety issues? It's totally up to you. That is if you are new. But if you have some experience in health and safety, even if you start with DI2 first or DF3 first or DI1, that could also work. So this could be depending on your schedule. But general recommendation for everyone is to start with DI1 and then later on decide if you're going to do the DI2 or the DF3 first. Sometimes training provider will also have their own schedule and they will say, okay, we will all do the DI1. Okay, we will all do the DI2 or DF3. So that could be also depending on the training provider. But the point is, these are 3 separate units. You can choose which, they are independent. Well, not really independent. But if it's okay, even if you're going to start DI2 before DF3 or DF3 before DI2. Okay. So that's for the exam. And they issue the calendar for the exam on their website. You can actually check the date. I don't know if I have it on my slide. I'll show you later. How long does it take to get the exam result? Also around 50 working days. So let's start with Unit 1. Workplace Health and Safety Principle. Do you have any questions so far before we begin going through the syllabus?
Hi, Ma'am Alice.
Okay. Yes.
Ayan. Ma'am, I think there was a question here from Sir Reynald Manuel. International diploma can also be used to be employed in UK.
It has to be the national diploma.
Alright, so it has to be the national diploma po.
National diploma.
And the next one is Sir Alexa Flores asks, which is better? Is it the diploma level or the bachelor?
Depends on your objective.
So yeah, as a safety officer, of course, if you want to train and become a safety officer and learn a lot more about the field, then you can take the diploma. Then Miss Sir Ariel, what is the difference between NVO level 6 and the diploma
I
level?
think we mentioned that already. These are equivalent. Difference would be on the form of assessment. Form of assessment is different. Some kind of exam require you to complete a portfolio, for example. Some kind of qualification requires you to complete like scenario-based exam. It depends. So, and also the difference is some of them are more known compared to others. Diploma is more popular, I think, compared to its equivalent. So more known when it comes to the employer also. Some employers are not really familiar when it comes to certification. They only know what is famous. That at the moment, I think NEBOSH Diploma is one of the popular qualifications. In terms of payment, same. I'm not familiar with the payment for NBQ level 6. Yes, we are not offering that currently in Trainovate. For NEBOSH diploma payment, maybe our sales team can cover that later on. Okay. All right, so Unit 1, Workplace Health and Safety Principle. I'm just going to take you through the topic covered in this Unit 1. Okay, so if you remember, again, just to review, IGC in Unit 1 or of IGC, Management of Health and Safety, there are only 4 elements. So those elements are about the why health and safety is important, so the moral, legal, financial, and then we talk about the health and safety management system, what does it look like, and then we talk about management of people and processes, the risk assessment, permit to work, health and safety culture, the behavior. And then we talk about monitoring and measuring, audits, investigation, KPIs, the proactive and the active. So very short, only 4 elements. In diploma, there are more content to be covered. So just show you the list of topic. There are 6 learning outcomes. So they don't call it really elements in the diploma, the learning outcomes, 6 learning outcomes in the diploma, Unit 1. In learning outcome number 1, we'll cover the socio-legal models. We won't go in detail through each topic. That would be very long. Just showing you the list for you to have an idea on what will be discussed. So enforcement, some of these topics are already covered in IGC, but in the diploma, it could be discussed much more in detail. Also, they recommend you have a foundation in health and safety before you jump into the diploma. The recommendation is to go through IGC first. It's a recommendation, not a requirement. But I think there are certain advantage in that. First, you'll be familiar with NEBOSH exam type, NEBOSH in general. So you'll be more relaxed, maybe not relaxed, at least you know what is it about when you go to the diploma, because the type of exam, some of the exams are similar when it comes to the style. So you'll be familiar with that already. And also, they assume when you take the diploma, they assume that you already have some foundation. So there are topics from the certificate that won't be discussed anymore in the diploma, but they can still talk about it during the exam. So that's the foundation that I'm talking about. So for example, the basic, the moral, legal, financial, we discussed that in the certificate. So when you join the diploma, supposed to be, you know already what we mean by moral, the legal, and the financial. Okay. So enforcement, the ILO, we know this, convention recommendation, non-governmental bodies and health and safety standard, third parties, insurers. So that's in learning outcome number 1. And then number 2, organizational structures, leadership consultation. See some familiar topic, consultation, health and safety culture. We cover this in the certificate, but like I said, there are much more information here in the diploma because it's really in detail. Behavioral change, traditional and proactive safety management. That is something new, which makes the diploma interesting because you are learning new things. Risk perception, human failure and factors, improving human reliability. The competence training, information supervision, something we already here, familiar with. This high reliability organization is something new. Okay. The hazard identification techniques, the risk assessment, how to identify hazard. So we'll cover different techniques on how to identify hazard, and the risk assessment in general. So managing health and safety risk management, that's in learning outcome number 4. And then in number 5, loss causation, quantitative analysis of data. So that's also something new in IGC. We only learn about the difference between proactive and reactive monitoring and the different indicators that we can use. And professional skills. So in this chapter, we discussed the skills that health and safety professionals should have. Also very interesting, something that we did not cover in the certificate. And then number 7, societal factors, corporate social responsibility, organization change, contractor supply chains, sorry. So all of this, like I said, I really wish I had known all this information when I first worked as a health and safety advisor officer, because it was very, very difficult. And the health and safety department was really not working well in our case because none of us were trained. So we should have went through this kind of program first before we worked as a health and safety advisor back then. Okay, so that's for the Unit 1. So see, principle in health and safety. Some principle we are already familiar with. There's always something about risk assessment, the monitoring, something about the KPI, the proactive, reactive, something about accident investigation. But there are also new topics like that one related to professional skills or the high reliability organizations. These are something new. And that makes NEBOSH Diploma interesting because you are really learning something new. Yes, some topics are in the process safety also, correct. Okay, so what is the exam? What is the type of assessment for this unit 1? Okay, so the unit 1 has 2 papers. So paper 1 and paper 2. You need to take these 2 together. You cannot say I will do the paper 1 first, then next month I will do the paper 2. No, it's a package. So paper 1 is a scenario-based exam, just like the open book exam for IGC. Same thing, there will be a scenario, you'll be given some tasks, the total is 100 marks, and you need to answer the question based on the scenario. So if you're familiar with the IGC 1 open book exam, it's something like that. And the paper 2 is something like a practical. It has 200 marks. You will be asked to do some workplace activities. So in this paper too, you need to select a workplace organization. So you remember in IGC, you have the risk assessment, and then you need to select an organization and decide which area will be covered by the risk assessment. This is something similar. So to complete paper 2, you need to think about an organization. So it could be your current company, or could be previous company, as long as there is an organization. It will be helpful if that organization has some sort of health and safety management system in place, or maybe they are applying some of the health and safety principle, because the questions will be around that. Or I'll show you some example of questions later on. So workplace activities, you will be asked to do some reflective tasks. This is about how you're going to apply the information you got from DI1, how you're going to apply it in your workplace. And research project, it can give you some task to do, some research to do. This paper 1 and paper 2, all the exams, by the way, are online and are all open book. So NEBOSH totally switched from the closed book monitor or invigilated exam. Now it's all online, it's all open book. You will have 4 weeks to complete paper 1 and paper 2. So in IGC, remember, for IG1, we only have 24 hours. In this exam, you have 20 working days. So if we consider the Sundays and the Saturdays, that's around 4 weeks. So when you join the exam, you take the exam online, by the way, the same platform where you took your NEBOSH IGC, same thing. They will give you exactly the date and then the time, and we start all together, just like what we do with the IGC. Then you'll have 4 weeks to upload your answers for paper 1 and then for paper 2. So in DI1, you will need to upload 2 papers. In IGC1, it's only 1, right? In DI1, you need to upload paper 1 and then paper 2. And passing is 50% for this. So 50%, so that's 100 plus 300. That's a minimum of 150 for DI1 for you to pass this exam. Now let's
Alice?
look.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apology on this. These are all essay type exam.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, got it.
I'll show you some example of questions. This
Thanks.
is, for example, the paper 1. Paper 1, one example of question from paper 1. Case study or scenario-based exam. So it's like the IG. So you'll have a scenario, 2-3 pages scenario, and then there will be questions. So questions could be like this. This is just a sample. But the format, again, it's the same style as the NEBOSH IGC. It's just that since it's diploma, you'll be required to provide much more information. So if you are familiar with the technique that we discussed before, the PEE, technique when answering exam question. What is the point? What is the evidence and explanation? It will be more applicable here in the diploma because unlike the IGC, you have your bullet point, then you answer. You can still use a bullet point, but for each point, there should be more elaboration. You are expected to provide more or details in your answer because this is a diploma. So this is an example of question. Supply chain and corporate social responsibilities application. So this is again based on the scenario. You can see the same style. Support your answer where applicable using relevant information from the scenario, the comment question, or based on the scenario only. So again, if you are new, I really advise you to go through the IGC first before you take the diploma so that at least you can be familiar with the foundation, but also be familiar with the style of the exam. Okay, so that's paper 1. So how many tasks? Just like the IGC, sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 8, sometimes it's 9, but the total marks available will always be 100. And it's scenario-based. Scenarios are always different. Okay, this is paper 2. So remember in paper 2, there are 3 types: workplace activity, reflective task, and research. So in the reflective workplace activity, this is an example from previous exam. So what is the activity? The activity is to do a risk profiling. Produce a risk profile for your chosen organization. Health and safety risk. So you need to select first the organization, and then you need to produce a risk profile. What is a risk profile? They are giving us a table, and then we need to follow the table. Okay, so that could be an example of workplace activity. Again, this is just an example. Unlike the risk assessment in IGC, we have the format for the risk assessment, the template. It's always the same for everyone. In ID2, in ID1, the paper 2, the workplace activities are changing. It's not the same. So in different batch, they will be asked to do different things. For this batch, they were asked to do a risk profiling. Then another set of exam, another type of workplace activity. But for sure, in this ID1 paper 2, you need to select an organization. What else? For the reflection task, reflective task, this could be an example. So they will ask you to compare your own leadership experience against the characteristics of a resonant leader. So see, they really ask you to reflect on your own knowledge, something that you've learned, and then write it down. Then produce an action plan to show how will you develop what you consider to be the 2 most important resonant leader characteristics for your own leadership style. Very personal questions. That's the reflective task. That is an example of reflective task, something that will allow you to think about how am I going to apply everything that I've learned in Unit 1 in my current job. Okay, so that's another. See the difference between IGC and the diploma? All right, next. For the research paper, this is an example. I think the example that we have here, we don't have much example to show you, by the way, but I think this would be an example from the National Diploma because they are telling us the Health and Safety at Work Act is nearly 50 years old. Health and Safety at Work Act is a law in the UK. So the question is to prepare a brief report on what you believe are the 3 most important changes that have happened to the health and safety since ASHWA came into force. So that is an example of research project. How many words? Not more, aim to make a report no more than 3,500 words. So the essay type, you need to do some research and then, yeah, really essay type question. Of course, they will give you more guidance on how to complete this. There will be more information. What we are trying to do today is just to give you an idea when it comes to the type of assessment that you will encounter in the diploma. All right. So if you summarize for the assessment, there's paper 1, which is an open book exam scenario based. And then paper 2, the practical research, workplace activity, reflective task. So essay, they will ask you to do something, specific task, either do some research or do the risk profiling or something like that. And you have 4 weeks. This one is longer, by the way, compared to DI2 and DI3 because it has 2 papers. For DI1, DI2 and DI3 only have 1 paper. So 4 weeks, it's quite long. But yeah, given the amount of information that we'll have to include in the answer, I think 4 weeks is reasonable. Okay, any questions? The same rules will apply. If you don't submit your exam on time, you'll be marked as absent. And then you'll have to retake. So same rule in IGC, you have to close in interview at the end of your exam. In this one, they call it professional discussion. So at the end of each exam, you have to go through an interview called professional discussion. So it's a little bit longer compared to the closing interview that we have currently for IGC. So professional discussion, for those who are not familiar, it's an interview where someone will be asking you questions about your answer, just to make sure that you were really the one who answered it. So this usually takes place maybe 1 week or 2 weeks after your exam. So you'll have to be scheduled for a Zoom interview, and then they will ask you questions related to your answers. Okay. Now, Unit 2, controlling workplace health and safety, health issue, sorry. We know that in the diploma, they divide the health and safety into health, 1 unit only for health and another unit for the safety issues. So what are the topics? So learning outcome from 9. So it's all learning outcome number 9, divided into several sections, 15 sections. You'll see some of these topics are already discussed in IGC. So we see the ventilation and the PPE, for example, but it's more in detail. For example, in ventilation, we mentioned LEV, types of ventilation in the certificate. So we have LEV and dilution ventilation. Now in the diploma, we still talk about types of ventilation, but we also do some calculation. You know, the LEV, it has different section, and then how do we calculate airflow, etc., velocity, etc. So there is some calculation in the diploma, by the way. I mean, not something complicated that requires you to have a technical calculator with you. Not like that, but there is some computation, yes. So we really go into the details, the different section of an LEV, how to take care of it, maintenance, something like that. Even for the PPE. So we talk about how to select the PPE, how to select hearing protection or face mask, etc. So new topic could be these occupational health services, equality in the workplace. Something we did not have in IGC. Include software-based simulation calculation. Yeah, software-based. Yeah, there is some, we call it Ready Reckoner. Some tools already available in the web, in agency website, for example, and they can ask you to use some of those tools. For example, when we try to assess the noise level or the noise exposure, when you try to assess, there are different things. Let's not go into the details yet. But for sure, what we are trying to do is details, much more. There are much more details to discuss in diploma, and there are some calculation like time-weighted average, the exposure limits. We also calculate those. Okay, so equality in the workplace. there's something called the return to work. So if someone has been sick and then come back to work, what are the programs that the company could put in place to make sure that that person can return safely to work? Then mental health, well-being, yeah, this has been discussed in IGC already. Health surveillance, we know about health surveillance, but in diploma, we discuss more about specific health surveillance, for example, audiometric test. And we discussed how to read the result of the audiometric test and what are the things that the company should consider when putting this program in place. Many things. Hazardous substance, health risk from hazardous substance. 9.6, we don't have this in IGC. So we'll be learning about epidemiology and toxicology, asbestos and lead. Okay, what else? So as you can see, it's very interesting. Hazardous substance monitoring. How do we monitor different type of instrument that you can use to monitor dust, monitor fumes, etc. Then the biological agent. In IGC, we only focus on leptospirosis. I mean, there is a topic related to Legionella, leptospirosis, bloodborne pathogen in IGC. In the diploma, we cover more than that. And then noise, vibration, radiation, then musculoskeletal issues, manual handling, workplace temperature, welfare arrangement. These are not new, but like I said, there will be more details. Okay, so next. So that's for the health issues, only that. So there are topics already discussed in IGC. There are new topics, but it's quite long. There's a lot of information. So what about the exam? The exam is a scenario-based exam, just like the open book exam. The only difference, there will be supporting documents aside from the scenario. So in the open book exam for IGC 1, the one that we have currently, it's IGC 1. There's a scenario. There's questions. In this DI2 exam, there's a scenario. There are questions. In addition to that, they give supporting documents that you also need to consider. Supporting document could be a result of a survey or result of noise monitoring, or could be policy, could be anything, could be a safety data sheet. And you need to consider those supporting documents. It could be 4 supporting documents, 5 supporting documents. It's up to them. There are more information to review when you answer the question. It's not just based on the scenario. So you are given 2 weeks or 10 working days to work on this one and then submit your answers. So there is only one file that you need to upload for DI2. There's no paper 1 and 2. It's only one file. And same as the OBE, there are different tasks. Number of tasks could be 6 or 7 or 8. It's up to them. Total available marks is 175, and you need to get 50% to pass. The way you answer the question, they could say based on the scenario only, or based on the information on supporting document number 1, or it could be both, based on the scenario and based on supporting document number 4. They could ask you to comment, or let's look at some example. Okay, one example. Workplace exposure limit. So there's a scenario. You don't have the scenario here. See the question. Calculate any relevant time-weighted average concentration. So of course, during the program, you will learn how to calculate time-weighted average. And then comment. We are familiar with the term comment already in IGC. So the question is to comment on whether a consultant could determine if a WL is exceeded from the air monitoring undertaken. Comment on the significance of and the conclusions that could be drawn from the static air monitoring results. See, using relevant supporting documents. Then you have again the same note. Support your answer using information from the scenario, and also consider the supporting document given. So the questions are like that. So this is why they are giving us more time to answer the diploma. Although the number of questions could be, maybe there are only 6 tasks, 7 tasks. But because there's so many things to consider, it takes more time. You need to check what are the supporting documents, and then you need to do additional research so that you can come up with proper answer. The same rule will apply. Number of marks will define the length of answer. If they say comment 10 marks, then you need to provide 10 comments. Comment 25 marks, then you need to provide 25 comments with elaboration explanation, supporting evidence from the scenario. Okay, another example of answer in DI2, quickly. So the question is, based on the scenario and relevant supporting documents, discuss the merits and limitations, these two options. Okay, so what's next? What about Unit DI3, Controlling Workplace Safety Issue? Same form of exam, the difference is, this is about safety issue. DI2 is health issues. So safety issues could include, well, these are the topic. You can see it's shorter compared to the health issues. Safe work environment, confined space, fire explosion, fire risk assessment. 10.4 is more about controls. Fire risk assessment. 10.3 is more about explosion, something called leaf and hazardous or flammable liquid, gases, etc. Flammable or explosive atmosphere. It's 10.3. 10.5, dangerous substances, then work equipment and machinery maintenance. In IGC, we only have work equipment and machinery. Here, it's divided in several chapters. There's a chapter only for maintenance. There's a chapter for work equipment only, and another one for machinery. So divided. Then you have mobile work equipment, lifting equipment, electricity, construction work at height, demolition, excavation, and transport and work-related driving. So these are the topics discussed under DI2. Example of question, the example, huh? So same scenario based, 175 marks, 2 weeks to complete, 50% passing. Example, confined space risk assessment. What should you consider when assessing the risk? From carrying out the grain silo cleaning operations. So in the scenario, they have a silo, contains grain. They are going to do some cleaning inside. So the question is, what should you consider when assessing the risk? 20 marks. They need 20 answers with explanation. So point, evidence, and explanation. Then next, how could you control the risks before and during the cleaning of the silo? So it's about controls. And then still on the scenario, they mentioned that the scenario is suffering from some corrosion on the inside. So the question is, based on the scenario, what could have contributed to the extensive metal corrosion to the inside surface of the silo? So it's really technical, a little bit technical, not the general answers, general topic that we've seen in IGC. All right. So to summarize the assessment, in DI1, you have paper 1 and paper 2. One is scenario-based. The other one is some research activities. You have 4 weeks for DI1. For DI2 and DI3, both are assessed through scenario-based open book exam, 2 weeks to complete, 50% passing for each unit. They also have the passing with credit, passing with distinction, or just pass, depending on the total marks that you have for DI1, 2, and 3. Like I said, sequence doesn't matter. You can start with unit 1, 2, or 3, unless the learning provider has got their own setup. Also, you can retake as much as you want within 5 years, same as the IGC. So if you take one unit and then you fail, you can retake that again. You have 5 years to complete the 3 units. Otherwise, you'll have to restart from 0 again. Okay, so that's it. I think we know we cannot take DI1, DI2, DI3 all together. First of all, because of the schedule of the exam, and also because of the amount of information that we need to absorb, and also because of the length of the assessment. We'll need to take the units one by one. Okay. So for the exam, it's March, September. So let's say you start January. So you join January, and then you decide when is the nearest exam. Nearest exam is March. So you think, will I be ready to take the I1 on March? If you say so, then you register. Exam registration is just like IGC, around, I think, 1 month before the exam date. I'm not sure about that, but minimum of 1 month before you need to register. Okay, so March, and then say, what's the next exam? Okay, May. Will I be ready to take the DI2 on May? Then you register for May. And then after May, what's next? July. Then you do the DI3 on July. But I think that's not really realistic. It's really, unless you don't have any work, unless the only thing that you do is just study, study, study. But if you have other obligations, then that's not really realistic. There's a lot of information that you need to absorb. Okay, result is after 50 working days. Okay, this is the calendar from their website. So let's say, currently we're now November, so we have DI2 exam ongoing. So release date is when the exam is open. So we start November 13. Submission date would be November 27. So you have from November 13 to 27 to submit your answer. And then result will be issued by February 14.
Aris, sorry to cut you off. Just to clarify, the 50 days working of results given is on all those ID 1 to 3,
Yeah.
or it is specifically, I'm assuming ID 1, if I finish it 50 days, results of that, or
Yeah. Generally, it's 50 days, 50 working days. But so that we don't have to count what is 50 working days, they are giving us a calendar. So what you see on the screen, you can actually see the result notification date. So when you register for the exam, you already have the information. I will receive the result by this date. For someone who is now taking the DI2 this November, they will receive the result by February 14. So you don't actually have to count what is 50 working days. They are giving you the date. Once you register, you will also know when will the result be out.
so got it. So if you try to complete those three, so you will be entitled for that diploma, right?
Yeah, if you complete the 3 units. You also don't have to wait for the result. Okay, let's say you start with DI2 November. Result will be February. I don't want to wait for February. I will do the other unit on, there's a date. I think there's January somewhere. Yeah. January 15, that's DI3. So I will do the DI3 on January 15. I don't have to wait for the result of DI2 before I take DI3. These are independent units. Okay. So you need to complete those 3 units, and then you will have the diploma qualification, and they will invite you to attend the graduation in the UK. That's also one of the perks. But you'll have to, pay for your own expenses.
It is mandatory to attend or
No. If you want, only if you want.
get it?
We'll send you an invitation letter. Okay. Any other questions? All right. I think that's all I have on my slides. If you have any questions, there's so many information, but I think it's not a good idea to flood you with information yet at this point. This is why we just stick to the basic, the unit, the type of exam, content, that's it for now. Okay. Any questions? It's not equivalent because, for example, you can have a Bachelor of Science in, I don't know, mechanical engineering. So it's not really equivalent. It's different. I don't know in the Philippines. I don't know if you have any bachelors in health and safety. Do we?
No bachelor.
It's not done here. I don't know if for other country. In my country, we don't have. So it's not really an equivalent because, for example, if you want to join the membership body that we talked about, you could have a bachelor degree in other field, but you won't get that specific membership level if you don't have the diploma. So it's not really equivalent. I'm not sure again for countries where they have bachelor science in health and safety field. Okay, anyone else? Any questions? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay, does anyone has any question?
How soon can we start, Alice? If we are registered already.
Yeah, I think that the setup in Trainovate and in many training training provider is through e-learning, distance learning. So you will register, and then you can start.
So we need right after this we need to coordinate to Trainovate for the link, right?
Yeah, Hannah, would you like to answer that?
Hi, Miss Alice. Thank you for that. Sir, can you please repeat your question, sir?
How soon we can start? I mean, I don't have any link, but the registration is already. I mean, the payment is already settled. How soon can I start?
How soon can we start? We should be able to give you the access, sir, within 24 hours po.
Okay, I try to
Yes, right
coordinate
after
it
the payment
to.
po.
Okay, got it.
Thank you, Sir Richard. All right, any questions pa po habang nandito pa si Miss Alice?
Question it's going to be the same setup as IGC. You will register. There's e-learning. Then you do your self-study, and then we'll have review sessions, just like IGC.
The only difference, Miss Alice, would be the timing po, ano? The duration. Kasi si IGC would take about 6 months of access. So si IDEEP naman po is 3 years po ang access natin sa kanila.
Okay.
But of course, again, it's up to you. It's a self-pacing review po. So kaya naman natin siyang tapusin as early as possible. And then you'll just have to wait for a month for you to take the examination po.
Materials is downloaded.
Yes, and also the materials po, they're all downloadable naman. You just have to access it from the e-learning and we also provide that via email po. Once you settle, we usually send all the materials as early as 24 hours. Hindi po tayo lalagpas doon. Sir Nora Dean, kayo po ay naka-raise ng hand. Ano po yun, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, sir. Buti naka-attend po kayo.
Yes. Afternoon, I have a question or ano, kay Ma'am Alice. Ma'am Alice, what are the techniques no, to be passed in IGC?
The techniques to pass IGC?
Yes, ma'am. IGC exam.
Techniques to pass IGC exam. Review first and practice. Okay. Um, Review first. Okay. The problem, not really the problem. Some people think that it's easy because it's open book. So there are a lot of people who come unprepared in the exam. So that is something that we need to avoid by making sure you still do your review properly. You have the e-learning, you have all those videos. Please do not skip. Please review it properly, and then you have a mock exam, then complete it properly, and then you will receive a feedback. And then after that, keep doing your review and also attend the review session. So I think that the technique would be making sure that you know the concept or the principle. You don't have to memorize everything, but at least you need to understand the basic principle. And then understand also the exam style. It's all about the questions, the style of the question, the scenario, so that we can get this by practicing. So after mock exam, and you also need to practice more. So for the practice, we have review sessions monthly. So another suggestion would be for you to attend the review sessions as many as possible. If you cannot attend, review the previous recording. So the review sessions that I'm talking about is the discussion of previous exam, because it will help you to identify or to understand the types of questions and how to answer those questions. Okay? So I hope that helps. So review the previous recording. Try to review as much previous exam question as you can. Right?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your tips.
Okay, yeah, for IGC, we have a review session, by the way, November 30. Yeah, hope to see you. We will discuss the September 2024 exam. And for IG2, I'll be looking into some feedback for those who submitted their risk assessment and then actually received a refer or fail result. So we will be trying to understand why did we fail? What are the things that we should do to improve? So that's November 30.
Yes po. That will be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. po, Miss Alice, ano? And then, yeah, this is open naman din po sa lahat. So, kung kayo man po ay hindi pa nakakapag-attend or currently not taking the IGC and you want to see what it looks like to take the exam, then you can definitely attend the OBE review session. So, you can message us so that we can send you the link po para kayo ay maka-join sa ating technical Zoom meet. Okay. Anything else po, Miss Alice?
No, if there are no
All
other.
good? Okay. Thank you so much, Ma'am Alice, for your time. So let me just quickly discuss po. We have recently launched kasi ang Black Friday sale natin for the NEBOSH IGC. So I would just like to offer you, no, and nakita kasi natin na 6,000 pesos po. The 6,000 would be enough to cover po ang ating full access sa e-learning. So you'll get the full access for up to 6 months din po. And then you can finish the review, get the LOA or letter of acknowledgement. And once you're ready to take the exam, then you'll just have to settle for the 22,000 po for you to take the examination. So that will cover IG1 and IG2 exam. You'll also be able to attend again the OBE review session as much as you can po. And if you need consultation with Miss Alice to help you further with your examination preparation, then we can do that as well. Okay? So yung promo natin po na yon is until end of November lang po ito. Again, 6,000 full access na po yun sa e-learning natin. Nandun lahat ng materials for your IGC preparation. And then, yung 22K, we can discuss if we can do it in installment plan just so kayo po ay makapag-take ng NEBOSH po, no? So, we wanted to make sure na kayo po ay hindi lang makatake, kundi makapasa sa training natin for the NEBOSH IGC. And hopefully, sa mga nagte-take ng IGC naman po, ay take it maybe one step further or take the level 6 international diploma. And of course, Miss Alice will be there to help us, I hope, Miss Alice. And yeah, we will be there to help you as well. It's a long preparation for the international diploma, and Trainovate will be there to help you and assist you along the way. Ayan. So, sa mga nagtatanong din po, kasi may mga nag-PM din po, the international diploma po kasi is, let me just share my screen very, very quick lang. Here is the fee of the international diploma. So, na-discuss naman ni Miss Alice kung gaano ka bigat. Let's say, I can say medyo mabigat kasi talagang mahaba po ang preparation niya. So, ang international diploma po natin is 145,000 pesos po. Kasama na po lahat dyan with yung e-learning access natin for up to 3 years and then your 3 units of examination. So, na-mention po kanina, there are only two schedules or two batches per year for our 3 units examination for diploma. And pwede naman natin to gawin installment po for 80,000 para po makuha natin yung e-learning access, yung mga materials natin, and makapag-start na kayo mag-review. And then 65 would be before we take the examination. Okay? So, kung kaya natin bayaran ng buo din, instead of paying for 145, magiging less 10K po yan. So, 135,000 na lang. Okay? Of course, we'll make sure na matulungan din po natin kayo when it comes to payment and everything. And we value your profession as a safety officer po. Okay? So, I would like to thank you all again po for attending our orientation. I hope to see all of you again po sa ating OBE review session or the technical Zoom meeting this coming November 30. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. po yan. So, message nyo lang po kami if you need to attend the training or if you have other clarifications or questions regarding other NEBOSH courses as well. Okay? Ma'am Alice,
Last na lang.
thank you so
Sorry.
Oh, yes po, Sir Richard.
Sensya na.
Sure, sir.
If ever nakapasa ka, no, ano yung time scale ng certificate? Papasa ba sa'yo through paanong sistema?
Yes. Would this be for the IGC, sir?
No.
For the diploma
NEBOSH,
level?
yes.
Yes po. It usually takes about 30 to 50 working days, sir, for us to send you the hard copy of certificate.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anna. Let me know if
Thank
you
you
have any
very much. Ay, sorry ma'am, can we just take a quick picture lang po sa lahat ng umattend today? Ayan. This is going to take about 2 screenshots. Ayan, sige po. Kung pwede tayo mag-open ng cam, very quick lang po. Ayan. Sige, very quick lang, very quick. Let me just take a screenshot. Alright, ready na po lahat? Ayan. So, I can see some of you are nasa ibang bansa po. Tama, sir, no? Ako, may mga from KSA pa pala. Thank you so much for your time for attending our orientation. Sige. Ready na? Kaya marami pa nag-open. Alright, so let me just take a screenshot in 3, 2, 1. Okay. One more time. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Alright. Marami pong salamat sa inyo. Thank you so much for coming. I hope to see you soon again. Okay? So, mga may questions, you can stay and ask po sa mga okay na po. You can leave na po the
Thank
meeting.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much po.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I'll leave now.
Thank you, Miss Alice, for your time. Thank you so much po. Bye-bye, ma'am.